Please welcome to the stage Todd Haberkorn and Trina Nishimura.
So I've got a question. Tell me what are your top favorite Trina roles?
Oh,
What's your top?
Don't do that.
What's that?
Oh,
Jiro?
She's dressed as me.
Okay. Jiro, okay. Which one?
Mikasa.
Mika-san? It's hard to hear. So we got Jiro. And then? Mikasa. And then one more. Joe. Makise. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the East Coast premiere of your favorite voice actors from roles such as Jiro, Mikasa, Makase, Trina Nishimura!
You do that so well.
Do you want this mic? Do you want to come out here?
Yeah, okay.
No, it's you. If you give him a mic that is not tethered, I cannot be responsible.
This is your fault. You said it. You invited me into your house as a vampire.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to suck blood!
Thank you all for being here and for taking the time to be here on a Sunday. How many people went to bed after midnight last night? Raise your hand. How many people are strangely still in bed right now dreaming this is happening? Same number of people. Interesting. How many people, this is your first con ever? Oh, okay. All right. First con ever. How many people, you've been to every one of Thy Geekdom Cons since its creation in 1947? One person. I know he's a spy. Oh, and Kyle. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Well, guys, how many of you have never seen a Trina panel before? Then you're in the right spot. How many people say, I like Trina, but I don't know how she got started? How many people know how she got started? Trina, give us a 60-second commercial for the Trina life story being featured on the Hallmark Channel September 2nd through September 3rd.
September 2nd through the 3rd?
Uh-huh.
What time?
That's a surprise.
Trina Nishimura got started. I'm sorry? Check your local listings. That's cute.
There we go.
Trina Nishimura got started in voice acting at a young age. She was sad and torn and no, that's awful. Back to one. All right. So, Trina Nishimura, a lovely lady who returns to her hometown in winter, probably the holidays, and she falls in love with a rustic farmer who makes apple cider.
Named Christopher Sabat.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, he's not here.
It's Martha Hart!
She was ready for it, right here.
I'm going to work on that. I'm going to circle back.
Okay, how many people have a favorite Martha Harms character? Who's your favorite Martha Harms character? Who is it?
Not our fault. But this is the best.
Irina?
Martha, Irina from Assassination Classroom, Harms!
Hello, darlings. Thank you for coming to class today.
Doesn't Martha have a great commercial voice? Don't you feel like, why am I not looking at a product right now? She has a good commercial voice, right? And Trina's got a good trailer voice, right?
Trailer voice.
In a world.
See? Right there.
In a world featuring Trina and Martha, they come to a convention and find deep-fried Oreos.
I don't ever get commercial VO. Well, that's not true. I rarely get commercial VO because my voice is weird. It's a very strange voice. So I'm like, when you go to the gas station and you're checking out at the front and you're like, that's odd. Why would anyone want a lighter shaped like a shark fin? I'm that shark fin lighter, unfortunately. And I don't get purchased till I'm in the bargain bin when it's like, buy 2 of these expensive bruised bananas and we'll throw in a shark fin lighter. So I'm just happy to be here, y'all. Thank you for being here.
You have to introduce yourself.
You know what? We could ask my mom what her favorite roles are, we would be here all day. Not because she has so many, it's because she can't name any.
Oh, no.
How many people have seen Fairy Tail in its completion? You have seen 323 episodes more Fairy Tail than my mother. How many people have seen Attack on Titan? You have seen more Attack on Titan than my mother. We need to call my mom. No, let's not call my mom because she's right. No, she's not here. So
It's so fun.
when you look upon Trina and you look upon Martha and you think about, man, they inspire me to do VO. How many people are inspired by what you see, the guests that we have here? You're like, I want to get into VO. Anyone think that? You think that, you think that, you think that. You think that, you think that, you think that. You think that, you think that, you think that. I think that. Okay, that's very cool. So when you come here, because I know this is a question that's going to get asked, and please, ladies, I know you have insight because you're pros. One thing is that people are like, what I hear a lot is like, I could do VO. Could you just get up in the morning, you're in your pajamas, go to the mic, you say, side effects include, then you're done for the day. How many people think that's what VO is? Good, then you're already smarter than the last panel I was on.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Very good, I have high hopes for you. Trina, Martha, if you had one tip, because you've been doing it a while, you've been doing it a long time. If you had one tip that you've never mentioned at another panel before, of how to maybe not get started in VO, but something that's going to help them along the way. Do you have like one little tip where you're like, if you take anything from this panel, besides the funnel cake on the other side of this wall, what would that be?
Take care of your voice. Hydrate and don't wreck it for any part.
Yes. My number one tip would be always give Todd Haberkorn an untethered mic. Because magic happens. This is always so fun. I love doing panels with Todd because he's so entertaining and so fun. And you have no idea what's going to happen. I was half expecting Chris Sabat or your mom to walk around the corner. That's plausible. But yeah, my number one tip would be to get comfortable with the word no. As an actor, you're going to be told no probably 99% of the time, unless you're Todd Haberkorn.
Then you're told no 100% of the time, and you're like, Mom, just let me have one gig.
Just get comfortable with no. This is so fun. I love doing panels with you because it's just like I get to watch you do your thing. It's so fun.
Well, I'm thinking of my mom now, and you know what I think of when I think of my mom? Think of Mom, think of her fondly as she watches no shows. She hasn't seen an effing thing I've been in. I'm her only son, oh no. I wonder what she's watching right now. She could be watching Fairy Tail, but she's at her home making voodoo dolls of me.
Indeed.
R.I.P. Phantom of the Opera just closed on Broadway after running for over 30 years. How many people have seen Phantom of the Opera on Broadway? Amazing, love it. Now, did you think Phantom was like a villain, or did you think like, man, he's just misunderstood? Both? What? He's hot? Okay. All right. What would you do if he were here right now? Ladies and gentlemen, no. Bum, 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 bum. Can it be Phantom? Yes, bravo! How many people have a question for Trina or Martha?
No, keep going.
I know you got a Trina or Martha question because you've got something burning in your brain. You're like, I know their voices from somewhere, but they have such a resume. What is a show that I can see of theirs that is the quintessential representation of their voice? If you had a show, Trina and Martha, that you're like, they can only bring one show to their anime streaming island because their Wi-Fi is only strong enough to stream 26 episodes of one show, what would that be? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Martha, what about you? What would be the one show where you're like, you got to take this show?
Assassination Classroom.
Assassination Classroom.
It has everything.
Okay. How many people have not seen Assassination Classroom, but now you're gonna?
Yeah.
You got some new viewers. Very cool. So, what are your questions for these people here? Because they got a lot of wisdom. They got a lot of knowledge. They've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of life. They're here with us right now. And nothing brings them more joy for the next 30 minutes than being here with you. You have a question? I see your hand. You might have just been touching your hair, but I'm coming to you, so you better think of a question. Because I'm coming right now. Turn the screw in your brain and tell us what your question is. Tell us your name.
My name's Hallie.
Hallie, where are you from?
Reading, Pennsylvania.
Woo, Reading!
Reading. How many people know where that is? Ooh, you got some fans. How long have you been on planet Earth?
23 years.
Very nice. Very nice. 23 years. In those 23 years, you have divined a question in this moment. What is that question?
What would you say your most obscure role is that you would wish more people knew?
That is a great question. Most obscure role that you think other people should know about?
Ooh, I like that question.
That's a great question. I played Naviru in Monster Hunter. He was a little Iru cat, and he liked donuts. Yeah, I liked him. What about you, Todd? Most obscure role that you wish more people would know about?
Child loved by his mother?
Oh,
no, just kidding. That's never going to happen. No, my most obscure role, I did this show called Blast Rider one time. It's a show, it's one of the only shows where have you seen it? So the episode where I get tortured near the end, spoiler alert, it's been out for like 15 years. If you haven't seen it, listen, you're going to get some spoilers. Remember when I was getting tortured on the table? It's been a while? You aren't a fan of it. Okay, there's a scene where I get tortured on a table, and already the voice is very down here, so the whole time I have to talk like this. But then when he's getting tortured, I gotta scream. I've never met a torturer that I didn't scream at. That they're doing their job. Like, they're good at it. That's the one thing they gotta do is torture you, and they gotta make you, So when I was doing that, I tasted iron in my throat.
Oh.
And Tyler Walker, who directed and wrote Fairy Tale, was directing that show. And I turned to him and I go, we're done for the day. And then I painted a picture with the blood in my throat and signed it. But yeah, that's an obscure role. Martha, what about you?
I did a show called See, Control the Power of Money.
Yes.
Does anyone know that one? And I played Jennifer Sato, and she's kind of this detective character, and every time she spoke, she had a piece of candy in her mouth. So they gave me a bowl of lollipops, and every time I came in to record Jennifer Sato, I got to have a little candy treat as I was recording.
What's your least favorite hard candy flavor? Like when you see it, you avoid it.
licorice.
Licorice?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't love banana flavored candy.
No banana flavored
banana.
candy? Mamma mia. Okay. So tell me this, Trina and Martha, you've done a lot of events. You've brought joy to many fans and many people around the planet, Earth, talking about Earth. So are there people that you're fans of that you would like to meet or you got to meet?
Oh my gosh, yes.
No, go ahead.
Well, I got to meet Billy West at Kineticon a couple of years ago. He did the voice of like all the cartoon characters of my childhood. So he did Ren and Stimpy, and he did Doug, if anyone else grew up on Nickelodeon. And he did
Quailman.
Futurama, Quailman.
Yeah.
Whale man.
And he is a very fun person. He has the fire of life inside of him, and I had such a fun time meeting him and spending time with him. Billy,
Billy, yes.
I was fanning out. He just talks and talks and talks. He's amazing, and my jaw was just dropping. I was like, that was my childhood. Was listening to you every single day. He was on in my house.
Yeah.
Nice. Billy West. What about you, Trina?
I would never meet them at a convention, but because they don't go to conventions because they're too famous. But I would love to meet Barack Obama and Michelle Obama.
Oh.
I would straight up poop myself. I'd be like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you.
Barack's like, what's that? Trina!
Oh, he's the coolest, and she's a wizard. They're like superhuman people, and I don't care that I'm talking about politics. I like them. And I like their dogs, and I like their life, and I like their example that they give for their children, and I just like them.
There you go. Absolutely.
I like them. Who would you want to meet?
Well, follow up, piggyback off that, someone that you met in the past besides the Obamas.
Yes.
Who
have I met that I was
yes.
like, oh my God. Billy was amazing.
Wasn't he great?
That was amazing. I met Hulk Hogan once.
Yes.
We had tacos in the green room together.
Yes.
And I was eating a taco, and I was like, can I have, will you please, Hulk Hogan, will you please pass the hot sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sentence I never thought.
Did he say that back to you?
He was like, he had security guards. Who else? I also met, I've met all the hobbits. That was pretty amazing. I like Lord of the Rings. I've met a lot of really amazing people, but I think my favorite part about going to conventions is getting to hang out with my friends because we don't actually get to see each other in real life. We record by ourselves. And so conventions for me are always a really special time. I know that sounds corny, and I'm cool with it, man. I'll cry at a drop of a hat. But yeah, we got to have dinner last night, and I get to see your beautiful wife when you come to conventions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Haberkorn.
It's really special. This is my time to see my people, and it's really special to me. And Hulk Hogan's great, but and Momoa, yeah, he's a giant man, but I'd much rather just kick it with y'all.
Now, when you came up to these people that you wanted to meet, was there hesitancy? Was there okay, let's walk through this. Let's figure out how not to embarrass or blah, blah, blah. Do you go through that in your head, an inventory? Or are you just like, you know what, hey, how you doing?
I try to be as myself as possible. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I just try to be cool, and I tell myself, Harms, be cool. Don't overwhelm them right away. Don't mention everything right at the beginning.
In point of fact, I have been watching you, Billy West, since I was 7 years old, and I love you.
Yeah.
But I'm also lucky because I get to meet them not just at a table. I get to spend a little time in a green room with them in a different environment where I get a little more time.
Yeah.
So if I only had a minute, I'd probably just tell them everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to squeeze as much information into that time as you can,
And Billy's like, you're hurting me. I'm sorry, I only have a minute to squeeze you. Oh, Billy! He's all over the ceiling everywhere.
Wow.
He exploded. But see, the thing is we also get that feeling that sometimes when you come up to everybody's table and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. We get that too. Mm-hmm. Totally get that. Where your face gets hot. How many people get hot face? You get a little nervous, and then you tell yourself not to say something, and you say that very thing that you told yourself you weren't going to say. I've done that.
Who did you do that with?
I've done that with Nicolas Cage.
Oh my.
He has the softest hands, by the way.
What did you say?
Well, we were at a movie premiere for one of his movies, and I was sitting where you're sitting, and Nicolas Cage was where you were sitting, and then it was Kesha and all, and then my friend was with me, and I was like, "That's Nicolas Cage," and he's like, "You better go say hi to him." And I was like, "No," because I'm I don't want to bug him, he's doing his thing, and they're like, "You go say hi to Nicolas Cage, Mister, because you're gonna regret it." And I was like, "You know what? You're right." So I went up to him, and as I'm walking, because that's your time for the game plan. You're walking, you're like, okay, I'm doing this, one foot in front of the other. And so I go up to him, and he goes, hi. And I'm like, oh, And I shake his hand, and again, they're super soft. And I was like, you're a national treasure. And he goes, and he was like, oh, thank you, that's very kind. And I was like, I go, I can't wait to see you at an exhibit in the Smithsonian. You were awesome. And then I was like, because I turned into slime. And then I was like, kick me back to my seat. And he goes, all right. And he kicked me, and I slimed my way back to the seat.
Nice.
But I'll never forget that. And then Dick Van Dyke.
That's amazing.
He was really cool. I went up to him. Dick Van Dyke, because you have to arrange it for like weeks with the managers, got to talk and be like, okay, you know, like you're going to meet him here, and it's going to be like the handoff. You have the drugs in this hand. He gives you the needle. And so the needles don't hurt that bad when they come from Dick Van Dyke. But I went up to him. He was so nice because when I moved to LA years ago, the one audiobook that I listened to, it's a long drive. On a map, it's like that far. And it's like, how is it that many hours? But I listened to an audiobook of his, and it was like very inspiring to me because like with his life, with Dick Van Dyke, he had no game plan for his career. His one thing is he just wanted to make movies that his kids could see. That's it. That's his one, you know, his little thing. Like, Jedis have so many things. Like, do not fear. Like, you can't do all these things if you want to be a Jedi. I just want a lightsaber. But with him, it's just like one thing. And so I was like, that's really cool. So I told him, I read your book, blah, 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 and I listened to it. It was very inspirational. And he was super nice about it. And then we shook hands. His hands were not as soft, but he's like in his 90s. But there were so many people at his event, like because they didn't know what it was like. Dick Van Dyke, like, are people gonna come and see him? It was like a fire hazard. There were so many people there. I think like 5 people died. They got trampled, and then like you don't want to waste the meat, so you eat the people.
No!
It's worse to waste the meat of 5 people?
Too far.
You know how many meals that is? So we cooked them up, we passed them out to the convention. It's quite like a Q&A like this. Like you'd have a burger, maybe some chicken wings that look kind of familiar. Oh, yes, hi.
What is a role that in retrospect you are glad you did not get?
Ooh.
That's an excellent question.
That's a great question. What was your name?
My name's Carol.
Hey, Carol. What's... Thank
A
you.
role that in retrospect...
That's an excellent... I mean, your voice is just beautiful.
Oh, you didn't stop me. It's for them.
What's a role that in retrospect you're glad that you did not get, was the question.
I don't think that exists for me.
Really?
No, I think, like, I have these things called bills, and I like paying them because otherwise they turn things off, and you get skinny, but you're very grumpy.
Trina, it's bills. Open up.
Oh, no!
They're here. They found me.
They're here. They found me.
I would say, I mean, I don't have a specific one, but any role that I auditioned for that I was like, this is a reach for my voice. I don't know if I can sustain this. And I didn't get it. I'm like, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Because that probably wouldn't have ended up being very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What about you,
Good
Pumpkin?
question. Role that I didn't get. I mean, there's so many. The thing about it is, tying into the voiceover industry, for every role that we do get, there's about 1,000 that we don't. That's why Trina's advice about getting comfortable with no and rejection is so important. Because, like, you will be rejected. That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
Unless you're Trina or Martha. But me, I get rejected a lot. So it's like, you know, that's why when you send in an audition, you got to just forget that you did it.
Yeah.
Where that backfires is when you get the gig and you go in and like, you may remember you auditioned for this, and I'm like, I do not remember that. And they kind of get like offended, like, you don't remember the gig that you auditioned for 6 months ago for us? And I'm like, no, bro, no, play that ref. But yeah, so it's for me, there's so many roles that I haven't gotten. I will say one that comes to mind. I can't say it yet because I don't know if I got it, but it's on its like 4th round of auditions, and I really hope ask me this time next year.
Aw.
And if I didn't get it, I'll be there with like, you know, Haber tissues and crying still, probably, you know.
Do you sell Haber tissues? Do you?
By next year. We're just waiting for the patent right now.
Got it.
Because I don't want just 1-ply tissues. These have got to be good quality 3-ply tissues that when you dab your little nose or your little eyes, it doesn't cut your little eyeballs.
Todd, we have so many questions. Do you see these hands up?
I'm
In
coming to
15
you right
minutes.
now. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a good question? Is it a question that when did it come to your brain, this question? I love it. Here we go.
For Trina in specific, but all of you definitely, is there a specific role that's like so detached from like you that was hard to play? Like, what was it like? Because like, I think you're a very like happy-go-lucky person, and I'm just sitting here like, Mikasa.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's so different. Like, what is it like?
I seem very happy. No, I am. I try to be happy. Therapy helps with that. I'm okay. Anyways, yeah. Mikasa has a very different voice than my regular voice, and acting. I don't know what the question was. I was trying to
What
get
is
there.
it like playing somebody who's so different than you?
What is it like playing somebody that's different from me? I find it incredibly cathartic. I've been acting since I was 9 years old. And so I don't really know how to not be other people. And every time I am around people, I'm always like kind of figuring out what and why and who they are so that I can steal them and use them in my job.
Nice.
Is that weird? What about you?
That one's a tricky one for me to answer, but Ranmaru Rindo comes to mind from Good Luck Girl.
Yeah.
If anyone's seen that, Brina's in that, and Colleen Clinkenbeard and Todd.
Yeah.
I believe you've got a
I
big
turn
role
into a
in
little
that.
dog.
You do.
In that, yeah.
But she's a big tomboy, and not that I'm not that, but I got to really play in that kind of part of my voice, and like, I hope you're ready for a beatdown, lady pants, because guess what? You're getting one. That was so fun for me to play in a new way in that kind of voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think you just stumbled on a band name. Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Pants. For me, I try to break down what the characters, because the thing about it is we may play different characters, but at the end of the day, we can all relate to the struggles or triumphs or failures that they go through, right? So even if it's a plumber who comes home and his whole house has been destroyed and his family eaten by zombies, that's a bad day, and I've had a bad day before, so that helps with that. So, but difficult roles would be like Betelgeuse from ReZero. That was a tough one. That was a while. Chris Kaysen directed that, and I got mad at him because I blew my voice out, and I was like, I'm done, Kaysen. I sound like the guy from Mrs. Doubtfire. We'll see what we can do. Here we go. But I told him I was done. And he goes, let's try to keep going. And I was like, come here, frog. Okay, you've got a question. Shazam! What's your name?
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, what's your question?
Remember, like, how you were in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, like, weren't you Ling? So I've got a question, like, for some spoilers for people who haven't watched the show. So should I still watch it? You know how, like, in the show, like, when Ling just forms with greed? Yes. Yeah. So what else were you doing, like when you weren't doing that, like when you weren't there to voice it? I really don't.
Oh, well, that's okay. When I wasn't voicing on Brotherhood.
Yeah, like what else were you doing?
Oh, well, you know, it's possible that you know, for me when I was growing up, I didn't know that voice actors did roles, that they voiced things. I thought that the character just walked in and the character did its thing and then that character went home. So I was right there with you. But for me, it's like we go to other studios and we work on other shows, and we hope that we get to come back for more. Yeah. All right, so you have seen Brotherhood, or have you not?
I mean, I'm seeing Brotherhood. I'm currently watching it. I'm on like 49. I'm at 49.
Oh, nice. Okay, you're gonna finish it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ling.
Well, thank you for watching. You like Trina's character? Do you like Trina's character?
Fun?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I like her.
Well,
Yeah.
well, thanks for watching. Keep going. All righty, let's see. We got. Joe, I'm coming to you. Hello. What's your question?
Like this is just for all three of you, but is there like any like like silly or like strange quotes that you've said as characters that just come to mind?
Arthur, is there a quote from all of the roles that you've ever done that you use in a time of frustration that comes out of you?
In a time of frustration.
Or glee?
Or glee?
I like her lady pants quote.
Lady Pants comes to mind. I would say Maya. Who knows Borderlands in this room? You know Maya? Woo! Every once in a while I'll say to myself, I'm back, bitches!
You're free to use that if you need to use that in your lives.
That's awesome.
Trina, what about you?
I can't think of anything appropriate.
Oh. And you had something for Trina?
Yeah, is it Trina? You mentioned Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
The ring is mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Oh.
Have it.
Okay.
A little one-ring humble brag. Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you, Joe. Let's see. You know what?
You. Oh, wow.
Uh-oh, we got a Smeagol.
Throw it in. Toss it in. What is your question?
Hello, that's for you.
Oh.
Is the 100-year quest in the making?
Is the 100-year quest in the making? That's a really good question because do you all want to see a little teaser, 30 seconds of the new 100-year quest? We don't have that. I don't know where it is. Okay. I hope it is. I hope it's coming. I would love to do it. I hope they make it a 100-year quest, but it's 1,000 episodes. I'm not greedy. I just want 1,000 episodes. Let's see. Hello again. Welcome. Welcome back. Okay, so you got a question for these ladies up here. What is that?
Were there any voices in particular that got you frustrated at times?
They got frustrating at times?
Yeah, like whether it became like hard to maintain the voice or like you were struggling to find like, you know, a level you were comfortable with for the voice. Like were there any voices that you struggled with?
Voices that we struggled with that were frustrating at times.
Anytime I have to do a voice match to match another actor, that to me, it's more of a challenge. I would say I'm less frustrated and I feel more challenged by it. So I got to do Officer Jenny in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but I had to match the last Officer Jenny that was in, which there's been about 12 in total voice actresses with that role. So I think that was probably one of the most challenging ones to do because I wanted to sound as exact as I could. Fun fact, I was voted weirdest Officer Jenny voice by a podcast.
Oh, no. By whom?
But there were a couple of guys doing a fun podcast and put it on YouTube, and I thought it was hilarious, and it made me laugh, so I'll take it.
That's awesome. The most
Frustrating.
Thank you. Voice that I've had to do in the past was probably I voiced a bit I was recast because I did a horrible job, but it was a character who was Russian and German and would speak Russian and German and English, but I had to do this Russian accent and then speak German, and there was a native Russian speaker in the session with me, and she was like really hardcore, and I ended up crying. It was awful.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Bevins. It was Bevins. It was like, this is what we're doing. I was like, this is a horrible choice for me. Like, I started crying. I was like, I need a break. And like, we went outside. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And he was like, I don't think you can either.
That transparency.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
What a relief.
Oh my God.
To be
huge.
released of that.
I was like, I just.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah,
like, not
100%.
everything is for us.
On that show that you were talking about yesterday in the green room, the one that, do you miss? Remember the on-camera thing that?
Oh, yes, yes.
So someone came in to do a little guest spot, and they had a similar situation where they were having a hard time doing this thing on camera.
I was there.
And it was, and he went to the restroom and never came back.
Stop it.
Yes.
I was there.
Shut
We're gonna talk about this was an on-camera gig that we did years and years and years ago outside of voice acting. But
yeah.
He just
I
never
was
came
there.
back.
Yeah.
I think there was something there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He just like, or he's still in the bathroom. I don't
He
know.
might still be there.
That was
Should we call?
He drank a lot of water. Let's see here. I'm going to come onto this side because I know Sabbath would want me to come to you and ask you things right now because you have things to ask. What's your question?
So this is for all three of you. It's like, I know a lot of the roles, it's like, that I've actually gotten into, it's like anime from, it's like you, it's like Without the Kid. It's like they have been off the air for a while, but they're still inspiring people. And what is that? It's like to you that it's like you've done these roles in the past, even though they're not making anything new. It's like, but you're still a part of that character. And how does that basically inspire you and keep you going? How does it feel? Yeah, it's like. That's a great question.
So you're in these shows that have a legacy that aired, a minute or two ago, but they're still inspiring people. What does that do internally? What do you think about that? Does that hit you in a certain way, or you're like, yeah, I did that? Or does it hit you in a certain way where you're like, wow, that's rarefied. That's some goodness. That's some gold right there I need to hold on to internally and put it in my little soul box. Everybody's got a little soul box, and what you put in there drives you, fuels you, right? So something like this is very inspirational because we get inspired by seeing you inspired, right? Because so many things, you can watch and stream and listen and play so many different things. But guess what? We get to be in that little part of your brain where you chose us. You chose the thing we worked on to play, to watch, to read, to listen to. And how cool is that? How many people get to say that happens? And so that's really cool because you all become the lifeblood of that legacy and making that happen, because it wouldn't be that without you. So it's like, remember that saying, that saying, it takes a village?
Yeah.
This is that village. So y'all are a part of that. So thank you. That's my answer. But how about y'all?
There was a time when I started voice acting in anime that I just wanted, I had to get it right. And I just wanted to be good. And I just wanted my voice to work and the director to like me. And I wanted everyone to just like me. And at some point, and that was before I got into conventions too, but at some point down the road, I realized that that's not what the job is. And I started to let go a lot more as I was recording. And if we needed to do a couple more takes, that was okay. And that was where my most creative moments and expressive moments came out. And I think being able to let go in that way as an artist, no matter what you do, I think that enriches your experience and your understanding of what you are actually doing. It's not so small. It is so expansive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a strange thing to be part of people's lives. In my experience, when I started voice acting, I didn't start voice acting because I was like, I'm passionate about voice acting. I started voice acting because I had some bills to pay in college. This world and this legacy, if you want to call it that, has and continues to surprise me every single time that somebody says something that kind to me, which is very kind, and I'm very grateful. I don't know who I would be if I wasn't a voice actor now. I wouldn't have my tribe. I wouldn't have my people. I'm gonna cry for sure now. I wouldn't be who I am now. And if any of my work has helped somebody along the way, and some people have said that it does, so that's nice. I'm incredibly grateful, and I'm incredibly humbled, and thank you for choosing us. That's really nice.
Thank you.
That's very nice. Thank you. Great question.
That's a good question.
We've got time for one more question, and Kyle is going to pick who that is. And if he doesn't pick you, it's because he doesn't like you.
Stop it!
No, I'm kidding. You pick. Go ahead. One last question.
Oh my God. It's awful.
All right,
now
I
he
think
comes up to the stage.
we'll go with
doesn't
this.
like you, really, bro? Oh my God.
So my question is, what is one moral you go by in voice acting or in life in general? Like one moral that you
One moral.
Yeah.
One moral, one planet, two people, Martha and Trina. The beginning.
Do you have like a moral that you...
A moral. That's a good one.
Like a creed, like something that I live by. So I, like so many, when I was a kid, was bullied a lot for being weird, for looking different, for being an actor, for being Asian, for being white, for being short, for being all the things that people bully you for. I was bullied when I was a kid, which happens. And in general, what I took from that was from my older sister, and I carry that with me in general through all things in my life, that there are people that you're just not their cup of tea. And fuck them. So.
You hear that little guy holding those raisins?
No!
fuck them. Oh, sorry. I thought you said fuck them.
I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
With the raisins.
So no fuck them? Sorry.
I didn't see.
No fuck them. Sorry. You don't say that. Why is he clapping at that? You're not supposed to clap at fuck them.
You know what? Yeah, man. It's okay. I like raisins.
Yeah.
Raisins.
That's right. Fuck those raisins. Fuck them. Sorry, no fuck them. You don't say fuck them. Don't listen to us say fuck them.
This is great. This is so good. She's recording this. Thank you. All right.
I would say I love that. My moral is be kind.
Raisins.
But I mean that.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No. But be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, breathe. You know, I have a little bit of a perfectionist tendency in me. And just be kind to others and to yourself. And everyone's trying their best. And give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
No, that's so sweet. I like that one.
Yeah, I really do.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Oh, it hasn't answered.
Oh, please.
Go ahead.
Please.
No, I don't want to interrupt.
No.
That's my life thing. Don't
Thank
interrupt.
you, ladies. Now, if you would answer, that'd be awesome.
What's your moral, Todd?
My moral is it's along the lines of what you were saying, Martha, where it's understanding that you're not the main character in everyone's story. So with that, have patience and empathy for what other people are putting out in the world, because there's always other aspects to it that you got to remember. That's what I try to remember. That's what I try to do. Except when I'm gaming. When I'm gaming, I'm there to kill you. But outside of that, yeah.
Wow.
When you're banking those moats, I'm watching.
Destiny 2, anybody? Nobody? Okay, just came out, DLC, 2 million people play it, whatever. But anyway, Kyle, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you. And actually, along those lines, can I say thank you all for taking a couple things, for taking the time to be here, putting the effort forth, the beautiful, enthusiastic cosplay, and for being kind to all of us. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Give it up for my co-hosts, Todd, Trina, and Martha.
Good news, everyone! You can subscribe to Fandom Spotlite for free. What? That doesn't seem right. And this says have fun and follow your fandom, whatever that means.